気を感じませんね。
You know the bit at this point, the character sucks. Bridget's always been an odd character in Strive just due to how she's always been threatening the balance of the game. A super popular character but has no presence in the online or offline scene, so looking at her you think that maybe nobody plays her. And I'm including onlines by her when it comes to tournaments. She basically has no presence. There's like maybe 3 or 4 players that really play her. And in recent history, she's been more known to be a mid-tier character, or maybe a character that's struggling but not really the worst. And as of now, a lot of players and Bridget mains come to a consensus that Bridget is struggling this patch, definitely a weaker character. Why is she lacking in Strive? Well, in today's video we're going to talk about some of the issues that the character has and makes her a real struggler. Also, if you see this, I'm trying to see how many videos I can do in the one day. So if you see this in the next video or the video after that, I was balling, but we're about to find out. So one thing you immediately need to talk about when it comes to Bridget is the risk reward versus every other character. She is a very squishy character, so if she gets hit, she takes so much goddamn damage. If she plays against an Agora Yuki, that's a character that can play neutral against her and turn her health bar into red. If she plays against Potemkin, that's a character she can keep pressure on, but then it comes into the next issue. If he ever gets out, that's a character that can put pressure on you and kill you in 2 interactions. While playing against another lower damage character like Melia, for example, she can explode you with certain hits, and it's the same with Axel, it's the same with Leo. Point being, you're gonna get exploded no matter the matchup. Boss can explode you if he wants. So your health isn't good, and then you mix that with the next factor, your damage isn't good. Your damage across the board is really lacking, and there's very few tools that can give you a ton of damage like counter at 2H. It's insane. In the same patch that Bridget does minuscule amounts of damage on some of her pokes and her key attacks, Axel is doing a ton of damage on those same type of pokes. It feels like a lot of the damage for Bridget is supposed to be designed where she accumulates it over time off of many interactions. Melia is known for doing that, and other rushdowns like Chip are known for doing that. Except those characters have specific tools that are made to cash out for a ton. Chip, if he gets a counter at 2S or 2H or 5H, can go into rope to do a ton of damage. Melia, off of certain attacks and with the right setup with Bad Moon, can deal a ton of damage. It feels like Bridget's best setups for high damage is only off of counter at 2H. Everything else doesn't really lead into a ton of damage. I think the goal is to build risk with the character, as that's like the only avenue for damage, but there's so many issues that go against you. FD exists, which negates risk. Burst gets rid of risk. And on block stun, depending on guts and character health, the risk is lower or higher depending on what the tool was. And for Bridget, she has a lot of low priority for risk. So her damage isn't good, and she gets out damaged and can die in 2 hits. Now it's time for some of the neutral issues, and one of them is 5H into 5H. 5H is a really good button. It's got some good reach, great counter hit starter, but it doesn't really have a disjoint or anything like that. It's just kind of a good long reach and fast normal. And one thing that made this tool good was being able to do 5H into 5H into Scoot, which allowed her to take Oki, but now that's -2, so you can't really do anything with that Oki. You're going to get thrown every time. And our new role, which looks like a good special tool for neutral, is a really dead tool. It could get her caught in a ton of scenarios and is very awkward to use. It's genuinely a bad tool to go for. It has setups on safe jumps, I believe, but that's about it. This is not good as a neutral tool. Far from it. And the other thing that affects our neutral to a massive degree is the yo-yo. Yo-yo is a pretty good projectile tool to keep the opponent in lock in the corner or just to send out, as it was very safe on block, as in I think it was plus. Now it's -2 on block, making it a difficult tool to use for pressure. Unless you've got a spacing trap setup, which Bridget is good at doing, she's going to get bet on a ton of these interactions. If she's up against like maybe a bike and she could get interrupted. And if she's against Frost, he's escaping every time. One problem that she has in high level of play, it comes to her offense. A lot of it is really IB-able. does require the opponent to get insanely good at defense. This is why I'm saying it's only really a high level issue. Most people that are watching this video will never come across it. Instant blocking makes it so a lot of our pressure tools that are minus on block are now punishable up close, either with a throw or a jab or something like that. And because of that, it means all of her pressure tools as an ender aren't safe to go towards. They're all punishable by some degree. Now, this is common with a lot of other characters. If you get really good at instant blocking into throw, it's amazing counters to characters like Kai. Kai gets countered hard when you do it on his dire clap. But Bridget's issues is that this is on every normal and every special, so there's no way for her to play it cool if the opponent gets good at IBing. And one of the big issues this patch was to do with DP. For most characters, this isn't really an issue. If anything, it's fine, it's good. When you do a DP, you go back to neutral now in this patch. There's no way to run offense after a DP or a flash kick hitting. Except there's a problem with Bridget. Whenever she does a DP, it's a multi-hitting DP. It's not a 2-hitter, it's not a 1-hitter, it's like a 7-hitter. And because of that, there's a lot of jank interactions that can happen with this DP. Let's say you DP the disjoint on the multi-hit portion. That means it didn't get hit by the last hit of the DP, leaving the opponent in a state where they're going to get up a lot quicker while Bridget is still recovering from the DP on hit, making her punishable. It's not a rare scenario, but it's not a common scenario. These scenarios can happen without a doubt, but it's not something where I'm all like, oh, that's a game changer. I think to myself, that's an issue with characters with good disjoints. And that leads into our last problem. Matchups. Matchups are very good at delaying her health, and she loses to a lot of them. And it doesn't even come down to that she's a bad character. Her neutral pokes are great. 2H is a good poke, far slash is a good poke, 5H is a good poke. And all of her special moves come together to make a pretty good character. It's just that every matchup either do what she does better or kill her for existing. And that is the problem with playing Bridget in this patch. Looking at her toolkit, it's not that bad. But because the damage is so low and she has to play the game more often than the opponent, she suffers. And that is why Bridget is suffering in this patch. There's probably more stuff out there that can convey you that Bridget is struggling this patch, but that is everything that I was able to find through asking questions and watching tournaments. I don't think she's the worst character, as there's characters that are definitely in a similar position in terms of struggling, but she is in a bad spot for sure. Maybe like a bottom 5, bottom 4 definite character. That is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, sub, hype, and comment what you think about Bridget. I want to hear what you're thinking. And also keep in mind, if you see me in this tomorrow, it means I locked in today. That's all I'm going to say. It means I locked in today. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.